Hey, this is Kristy with Guidepost to Wellness. Hey, I'm on one of my favorite trails near the house. It's right near the river and just a couple miles from my house. And I wanted to talk a little bit about movement for both the body and for the mind, thinking about exercising the body and the mind. So I like to come down to this path. It's really nice near the house. It's a great brain break. I'll talk a little bit more about different forms of mindfulness, which even taking a nice walk in the woods can be a form of mindfulness. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the foundation of movement and exercise for the body and the mind, because it's really important for a balanced wellness in your life. And we've become a very sedentary society in general. I know that I spend hours in front of a computer. I actually work 10-hour days, but I have a standing desk because I definitely don't want to sit for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. You sit in your car, oftentimes you come home and you sit and you relax and read a book or in front of your computer or something like that. So it's really important to recognize that movement is necessary for our well-being as humans. And it's also really important for our minds, because the exercise that we get our bodies actually pumps blood and oxygen to our minds as well. But on the flip side of that, it's just as important to do actual exercises for your mind. Things such as memory exercises, word searches, learning something new, learning a language, reading a book that is informative and instructive. So I wanted to talk about that as one of the foundations, and as we go through the various videos with the ABCs to Wellness course that I have more coming up soon, to any of the other topics, I'll try to touch on what foundation of wellness that it's going to hit. And it's really important to understand with exercise and movement to start out slow, start out where you are and just find ways, be aware of how you can improve the different levels of exercise that you can have in your life. For example, at my office we actually have a walking path outside, but I've also figured out with my exercise tracker how many laps around the building when it's nice outside, and then how many laps around the inside are about 1/10 of a mile, so that I can work on making sure that I get additional steps. And every time I take a break and even run to the restroom or to get some water, I'll make sure that I take the long way around. I try to park further away, and these are all things that you can do to incorporate those slow changes. And the thing to realize is, even great athletes, they didn't start out that way. They didn't start out immediately strong. And James Clear is one of my favorite authors and speakers on habit formation. He's done a lot of research with that. And one of my favorite stories is Milo of Croton, who was an Olympiad athlete who won all kinds of awards about 2,500 years ago. And he was supposed to be the strongest man ever. And he was known, as the stories say, that he could carry a full-grown 400+ pound steer on his shoulders and just walk around with it. Well, the moral of that story is he didn't start out just one day saying, I'm going to pick up this steer and go and try to pick it up and blow out his back. No, he started out when the steer was just a baby calf. And he was a farmer, so he was used to being out and around and moving, so picking up that baby calf for him was very easy. Well, he picked up that baby calf every single day. Well, guess what that calf was doing? It was eating and it was growing, so every day he picked it up, it got a little bit heavier. And because it got a little bit heavier and he was still picking it up, guess what? He got a little bit stronger. So it's important to realize that all those tiny little changes of walking a little bit further every day, even if it's just a few hundred steps, parking your car one row further, any of those types of things from a physical exercise perspective will really help you just to build and slowly improve your overall wellness. And the wonderful thing about exercising your body is all the other positive benefits. It's great for your brain and your memory and your mood. It's really good for your GI tract. It's good for sleep. It's good for all those other things. So get moving it one way or the other. And then when you think about your brain and exercising your brain, what can you do on a daily basis that's really going to help get your brain excited to learn something new, stretch it? We do a lot of the same things day in, day out, and some of those mindless type of activities are just too easy on our brain. So you want to try to find a way to maybe learn a new word every day, read something informative, instructional every day, take some type of online class. I'm doing one that I really like right now with Jim Quick. who is about the quick brain, and he's teaching me how to memorize things better and how to really improve my memory, and it's been really fun. And it's only about 15-20 minutes a day to watch. So if you can find something of that nature and start incorporating little things like that, whether it's listening to an informative podcast in your car, reading a book at night, finding little ways like that to incorporate brain exercise will also help improve you in the long run. So I wanted to take some time by my favorite trail here, but I'm going to go ahead and get some exercise, finish out the trail, and come back with the next set in the video, which is going to be on rest and relaxation. So I hope that you got a little bit of something out of this. I hope you start trying to move and exercise just a little bit more every day. I don't expect us to go out and carry a cow on our shoulders, but those small incremental changes, a year from now, you'll be tremendously healthy compared to where you are right now. So the hardest step is the first one, so let's get walking. Bye.